Hey, and you're all really welcome to this special mid-monthly health talk where Davey is going to talk about how Parkinson's is for him and what he does as part of daily practices and other techniques that help him sleep well, that help him have good digestion and also live in a kind of flow. But what I invite all of us to do here right now, just so that we can be available for whatever is going to happen this evening, is just to sit and rock on your sit bones. Everybody now, just rock a little bit on your sit bones and get in your body. Be in your body a little bit. So just shake it through. Feel your chest, feel your arms, shake through your fingers, your legs, and your pelvis. And shake a little bit less and just take a nice breath. So just inviting everybody here that is here to truly be here in presence. So take a deep breath right down, right to the lower belly, and then exhale and squeeze the belly button right back to the spine. Relax, and the inhale takes care of itself. Exhale. Relax. And let the inhale take care of itself. One more time. Exhale, squeeze the belly button back to the spine. Relax. And just let the breath come into the body. Let yourself land into this session. Davey's going to give the first bit of the presentation, and then we're going to go into a three-way discussion between Irene, Davey, and myself, and all of you as well. Whatever questions you've got, then we can kind of bounce them around and see who has got an answer that resonates for you. Okay, so I'm going to pass over the host to Davey.
I am the host now. Hello, good evening. Nice to see you all. Beautiful, beautiful day out there, isn't it? I hope you all got out there and enjoyed it, because that's what I did. I went swimming with my two kids, well, my stepson and my son. We jumped off a pier. So that's one thing I do, is just to keep myself motivated, keep myself moving and going. Now, this is a bit tricky because I have no notes, but anyway, we'll see how we get on. Who am I was the first slide. Well, I remember a little bit about what my slide said. Basically, I'm a father, I'm a swimmer, I'm a raver. I've always loved dancing, and whenever I can dance, it's a good day. It's a really good day. Prompt, please, prompter. Can you see my slides there?
And a husband.
So yeah, you're a husband.
I didn't write that one down. Oh, don't worry, it's fine.
We met 8 years ago, just after
I was diagnosed. So I was diagnosed 10 years ago, and it turned my life upside down. But saying that, even though there's lots of struggles with having Parkinson's, and I do have Parkinson's, but Parkinson's doesn't have me. So when I was diagnosed, I remember walking into the doctor's surgery, and I hadn't even taken like 3 steps into the room, and he looked at me and he said, "You've got Parkinson's." And I literally turned on my heel and walked out again, because like I couldn't face that. I couldn't face the idea of it. I knew it to be true, but I wouldn't accept it for about 2 years. Then after that, I met Joe, and things became a little easier all of a sudden. Just things got a lot softer. There was possibilities. Now, I took up Qigong instantly because I believed that it was going to fix me. And that's one of the things which I've been working on all this time, is there's no like fixing. There's just being present to the moment. So my intention for this talk is just to give you some ideas of things that I do, and maybe you could do as well to help yourself. So how do I do this? Well, one thing is that my My morning practice is a non-negotiable. I show up every morning for Chi Flow Joe. If it wasn't Chi Flow Joe, I would show up for some Qigong practice from somebody else, because it's just so important to me. That exercise and that sense of community is just so important. Without that, you don't really have anything. So the daily practice,
You also go in nature. That was one of the things you wanted to talk about.
Well, every day we go for a walk, every day. Even if, like, say today, I went for a walk at lunchtime and I really didn't want to. I really didn't want to get off my chair because I was just feeling a bit too sore. But I got up, walked around the block with the dog. It was such a gorgeous day, came back, went swimming with the kids. So it kind of, you need almost to kind of jar yourself out of your, I don't know, sadness maybe. Not quite sure what it is, you know? So, daily practice. Every morning, Chi Flow Joe. And I think I talked about how that could look. So when the first thing we do after we've done a bit of shaking, we could always shake a little bit more. The first thing we do is we connect with the universe, this vast universe that we're in, and we realize our place in it. And this could be by taking some deep belly breaths, or by doing some gentle exercises, closing our eyes. Any more prompts from my prompter there?
Yes. Okay. So the first thing you wanted to talk about was diet.
Ah, brilliant, diet. I eat so healthily now. It's absolutely like insane, really, you know? Not insane because I love my food. I've always loved my food. But now I try not to eat fast food, even though with Parkinson's, it can be it's very easy to be lazy. Put the TV on, pick up the phone and ring in a pizza. It's very, very easy. But then I think that would probably be fine for about a week or 2 weeks. After that, I think I start to get unfit and unwell. It's one thing, because of my diet, I'm so conscious of the food that I put into my body to help me navigate this world. What was next on my list?
Exercise, about moving, about mobility. And the other thing about diet, what's the other thing that you don't do with your diet, is you gave up alcohol.
Oh, I had to. It started to make me, not that I was a really big drinker at any stage really, apart from when I was in college. But now with alcohol, I don't know what it's like for anybody else, if there's anybody on the call who has Parkinson's. But if I drink now, the first one tastes lovely, the second one tastes good. Third one, I'm starting to get a bit wobbly, stuck. I get these excessive freezing moments whereby I'm almost falling over. I can't move properly. So that's no good. So I've stopped the alcohol. Occasionally, when we're in Italy or something, I might have a glass of wine with dinner, but not nothing too extreme, really.
Yeah, it just makes you stuck in the mud. You seem like you just can't move, and it makes you almost kind of more fall over, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's down, and also that's down to the intention. I've really realized that by intending what I want to do, whether it's talking, whether it's walking, the intention is everything. The intention that you're going to take that step, whatever that step may be it like saying yes to doing a presentation with your lovely partner, or going for a walk in the park. So what I wanted to do next is I wanted to do a little bit of practice, a bit of practice together. So I have no mic, so I'm going to try and speak up. And there's one thing, I have very soft voice sometimes. So if you can't hear me, just shout and I'll speak up a little bit more. So let's practice together. Can everybody stand up? Now. Now, these are moves which I think in my presentation I was going to talk about microcosmic orbit, which is as you breathe in, you breathe the energy up your spine, over your head, and as it passes over your head, you put your tongue to the roof of your mouth and let the energy flow down forehead, chest, abdomen, and back up again. And I use this practice whenever I was like feeling fearful. When I was on the Lewis last week, I was on the Lewis and it was jointed, it was packed with people, and I was starting to feel a bit uneasy about myself. So I do this microcosmic orbit. I wouldn't be excessive about it, I wouldn't have any hand movements. It's sort of and it's an internal meditation. So
Davey, can I suggest that you move the camera down so we can see more of your body, especially down to your feet? So you want the top of the camera going to the top of the light shade. Yes, exactly.
Can you see my feet now? Can you?
Move back a little bit more. Perfect. Yeah, you're going to have to shout your instructions. I would shake the tree and then do the microcosmic.
Shaking the tree first. I'm just going to move my pill packet because I take medications out of my pocket because it's upsetting me. So take 3 deep, slow breaths through your nose and exhale with your mouth. And as you're doing this, feel the cool air as it comes in your nostrils and sinks down to your lower belly. And as you exhale, squeeze your belly back to your spine. And I don't know what it is about the microcosmic orbit, but it just calms my system. So imagine the energy traveling up your spine as you breathe in and breathe out. And you don't have to make the breathing fit the movements. Feel yourself becoming calmer, steadier, more able to navigate the world. Now, talking about navigating the world, one of the best exercises for me for my walking, because probably actually my walking is my biggest challenge at the moment, is walking through the tall grass. And to do that, you lift your left leg and your right arm, and then the opposite, left arm, right leg. And this works on your balance. And I find myself lunchtime being outside, taking a break from work, and I'll do 5 minutes of this. Now, at the moment in Chi Flow with Joe, we're doing crane, which is like an extreme version of walking through the tall grass. Now, very important that you use your intention. If you start to wobble and you're going to fall over, don't worry. Hold onto a chair or don't have to lift your leg up off the ground. You can just point your toe. All Okay. Now, when I'm not going to. Normally, what I would do is I'd do that for 5 minutes maybe, but I won't do that to you. The other thing that I want to talk about was the intentionality of walking. When I'm walking, I have to pick a spot on the floor and step on it, be it a piece of gum or be it a crack in the pavement. Like we just traveled through Italy and they have these beautiful, beautiful paved streets. Very easy to walk then with a paved street. So what I want you to do now is just walk around your room, looking at the ground where your feet are going to go. Now, if any of you do have balance issues, big balance issues, be very, very careful. Just take nice steps around the room. Heel to toe. Now, I'm very good at that. That's smoothly, slowly walking. My challenge at the moment is to walk a little bit faster without falling over. So that's just a little flavor, a few exercises that I might do during the day. Now, lessons I'm still learning. That it's okay to look for the fix. It's okay to hope and be curious that something around the corner will come and help. I personally underwent 2 years ago, just before we got married, I underwent deep brain surgery where they put a battery pack in my chest and they ran a wire up my neck to these electrodes going into my brain. And that was to calm down my tremors because I had a very strong tremor at the time. So it's okay, as I said, to look for the fix. It's okay to be curious about different medications. I take a very, very small amount of prescribed medication. And I've tried everything in the past. Anything anybody was trying to me, from Shilajit to Bufo to Cambo, all these kind of South American medications. So I've tried all of these things because I wanted to be fixed. And now I've realized that it's not about fixing. This chi flow that we do, this qigong that we do, it's about feeling well every day, no matter how you do it. It's not about, oh, if I can touch my toes, I'm going to be cured of Parkinson's. If I spin better, I'm going to be cured of Parkinson's. No, you just spin a bit better and you can touch your toes a bit better. So, I mean, that's the main thing that I've learned in the last 10 years, that it's okay. It's okay to want to be fixed. It's okay. But don't hang your hat on it the whole time. So I'm still learning that.
Sleep.
Sleep, big one. For about 2 months once, about 5 years ago, I didn't sleep at all. And I ended up in hospital because I couldn't relax. I was still trying to be fixed. And so I couldn't relax enough to actually sleep. And I used to have to wedge my hand under my head to get my body to calm down a bit. And still my mind was moving in a million miles an hour. So I started doing a Qigong move called, I'm very forgetful as well. And I think that's not Parkinson's. I think I always was a bit forgetful.
I think it was either lifting the sky or connecting heaven and earth. It's a move that you do, you go outside, because I watch you let the dogs out at night and you go outside and you stand in the patio or you stand in the grass. So I've seen you do it.
Yeah, I do that now. What I was going to say was at the beginning, it was the healing sounds because I was so extreme with my sleep. I do about half an hour of practice healing sounds to get myself to go to sleep. But now it's got so much easier. I don't know what's got better, but it's just got so much easier. I go out, as Joe said, every night, put the dogs out, they go fill their pee, and I will do Just 3 calming breaths, sending the energy up my spine, over my head, and down my front. And I might do 3, 5, 7, 9 of those. And that kind of it's just lovely just to, especially outside of this time of year. And then I would get into bed and I would put my head on the pillow and I'll always sleep because I read somewhere that this was the correct posture to sleep in. So I'll always sleep in that posture.
Which is
just with your hand under your head and the other hand on your hip, on your side, either left or right. And I'll think about that day that I've just been through. And I'll think about possibly the best thing I did that day. You know, maybe for me, it's like, oh, I drove to Bantry and back. That's the best thing I've done in ages. So I'll think about that and I kind of congratulate myself a little bit. And then I'll just think of 3 gratitudes, 3 people that I'm grateful for. It could be Mona in the supermarket, who was rolling her eyes at me today. It could be your son, because you woke up this morning, there'd been a big party at my house last night. Not that they woke me up because I sleep like a complete log. And at 6 in the morning, I woke up this morning because he was cleaning the house. So I'll be just grateful for three people that I've met that day, or 3 people who've interacted with me. And generally, by the time I get to the second person, I really, really think about them, the clothes they're wearing, the smile on their face, or the grimace on their face. I think every little aspect I can think about them. And then I'm asleep. I don't know what happens again, but I'm gone for like 7 hours. Now, the next thing I want to talk about was, is there anything else that you think I have missed this calling, Joe? Or I was just going to say caring for the carer. This is very, very important. Now, if you have Parkinson's, you think the whole world should revolve around you, you know, and run after you and help you. Well, that's what I sometimes feel. But it's very, very important that you are caring for the carer, that the carer needs to be looked after too. Now, Jo doesn't like to be called a carer because she's not my carer, but she does care for me. And as I care for her. So I think it's kind of a two-way street there. It's very important to give acknowledgement to the person who helps you and looks after you. I've been talking for 25 minutes. I have, well, okay. Now we're going to move into, unless there's anything else you think I've missed, Joe, that's very important. Excellent. We're going to move into the talking aspect. I don't know how this is going to go. But on my last slide, I had written a couple of questions. Is it possible you can see them there?
Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, could you give me hosting back?
How do I do that?
Okay, never mind. So,
Can you grab that?
yeah, everybody can unmute themselves. This is going to be much more of an open discussion. And the question that you had written, Davy, was what are the practices that you do to care for yourself? So,
okay. So can we ask Irene first? Can we?
Yeah.
Irene, what are the practices that you do to care for yourself and for others?
Maybe we should also introduce Irene and say who Irene is. Or Irene, would you introduce yourself?
Oh, thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Joanne. My name is Irene Tracy, and I am a Parkinson's coach. I am based here in Tramore, County Waterford in Ireland, and work internationally online, and also offer Parkinson's retreats here at my house, which is just 3 minutes walk to beautiful Tramore Beach. So I work with people, offer them emotional, physical, and spiritual support. I do holistic coaching. And I started 10 years ago with movie. which is a health and wellness tool that was invented by a man with Parkinson's, and it was only through his own improvement it was made into the commercial product we have today. So that's how I started. So as Davey would have his daily practice of Chi Flow with Joe, mine would be smoothies. I do a 21-day challenge and I do them back to back because it motivates and helps me. So I recognize I need the energy to move, and the movement is powerful at that. And with that as well, one of the most important things that I would say for everybody, whether Parkinson's, MS, arthritis, everybody, would be breath work. I think that's really the most important practice. Then you've got your breath work, you've got your movement, meditation, mindfulness, so important. And what I like to do and what I like to say to my clients is to become healing, not just do your practice, to really become it. So Davey, like you were saying, well, from what I took it, when Joanne said you go out to leave out the dogs at night, you do your practice with that. It's you becoming it. It's part of your movement of your day to day. So that's what I like to bring in. Nature as well. I am such a believer in getting out in Mother Nature, getting out, standing in your bare feet in the ground, releasing toxic energy from you and bringing up lovely, healthy energy from the ground. Another big thing, and you mentioned it as well, is community connection, laughter. It's really important, even in the depths of sadness. Laughter, for me anyway, is my go-to. Just have to get an image there of my mother's funeral when we were coming out of the church. Only an Irish person will get this. Apologies for anyone who's not Irish, because you won't get it. Well, never know. Richie Kavanagh. I don't know if anybody knows who Richie Kavanagh is. Yeah, Kay is laughing there. So my mother, Lord of Mercy, I used to know Richie Kavanagh very well. And he was there at the outfit and his whole Ain Fuckle outfit in the white gloves. So I just saw him carried out as we are walking after my mother's grave or coffin. And I just saw him and I burst out laughing. And just even at that at a funeral, which was so inappropriate, one would think, it was actually a really great release of sadness. Another thing that I like to do and that I recommend with my clients is to journal, to getting out our feelings and getting out any emotions we have through journaling, tapping as well, dealing with the emotions, becoming aware of your emotions. That is really important. And I only really got that so much when I started doing the coaching, how emotions and how suppressed emotions will give disease or make it worse. And when you really think about that, if you're suppressing your stuff, if you're really suppressing things and not willing to deal with it or refusing to deal with it or acknowledge it, it's going to manifest in a movement disorder like Parkinson's. Reducing stress, to become aware of any stressful situations you have. If there's toxic people in your life, get rid of them. And that could be, like so many friends and people I've spoken to over the years, it could be just their neighbor is really annoying them. They're coming in every day, and just like even that frustration, if you're getting annoyed with somebody like that, that's releasing toxic chemicals into your nervous system. So you just want to go around in flow, in harmony, and just live a calm, stressful-free life as much as possible.
Yeah.
Sounds simple, don't it?
Sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah. Stressful-free,
Yeah.
stress-free life.
But you'd be amazed, at some of the things. So I know anyone who would work with me, we always do like a wheel of life exercise, and you look at your life from from like a distant perspective, and you're looking at everything. And sometimes we can't see the wood for the trees. We're so caught up in our own thoughts and in our fears. So when you take it out and you look at it, and then you see what are the things that you're worried about. Often we're worried about stuff that really is nothing so big. So I'd always say, don't set the small stuff. Leave it off. Leave it off.
Mm.
You know, that's they would be my things I would be aware of every day. And
Thanks,
then,
Irene. Thank
yeah,
you.
treat yourself.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So from
There's
a
one thing I
Chinese
want to say. I
medicine,
just sorry, Joe. I cut across you. Carry on.
yeah. What it was, sorry.
What was I going to say?
Mhm.
I was going to say about how I think that you need to be thinking through the life of celebrate your small wins. So I think I was telling you, Joe, the other day that, Parkinson's, that you lose your sense of smell. Mine has come back with an absolute vengeance. So I'm sniffing flowers and sniffing gorse, and on my walk I was like, what, what's that smell? And I was following it over to a bush, and there it was. So that to me is a huge win. A huge win.
Absolutely. That is huge. That's one of the first signs of that kind of people with Parkinson's can lose their smell, or people with many different things. Parkinson's, I feel it's a name. I always say to my clients, don't say I have Parkinson's disease. Say I'm experiencing symptoms of Parkinson's and look at those symptoms then. So that is one symptom which you have reversed. So that is so exciting. So
Isn't
what
it
other
just amazing?
symptoms? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fabulous. What other symptoms can you reverse, Davy?
Personally,
Yeah, that's
we
where
were,
I would
we,
look at
we,
that.
we were dancing the other day in Italy, myself and Joe. I haven't danced like that well, we did dance a lot at our wedding, but that's something that I've reversed because, like, I remember a few years ago, I was almost fearful of trying to dance because I knew that I'd just be plod standing in the middle of the dance floor. So I feel that's been reversed, and that's not so much a skill, but just like not giving a damn. The enemy's looking at you.
So from a Chinese medicine point of view, because I hear a lot of what you were saying in there, Tracy, for the wood for the trees, and also to link in with what Davy was saying. So Parkinson's from a Chinese medicine point of view would be that the internal wind gets activated, whether that's through stress or diet, smoking, this internal wind and heat. You know, the way sometimes, if you can imagine a tornado, it's created by this difference of air pressure, and it creates this big internal chaos. So that's how Chinese medicine would describe it. And so to come back to some of the diet issues, so we would want to be really looking at the liver. The liver energy creates and can dissipate wind in the body. And what do we do for liver energy? Liver energy is about frustration and anger. Each of the organs in Chinese medicine has a different emotion. And the emotion for the liver is anger and frustration. But to transform that, you can work with the meridians as we do in the chi flow, but also it's to find that creativity. So finding that way of dancing, finding these different ways of being, finding different ways of walking. One of the things that frustrates myself and Davy is, especially me, and you can hear that kind of frustration, is walking together, because Davy walks a lot slower. And I'm kind of wanting to keep my cardiovascular health up, and I'm walking really quickly, and he's behind me. And so we have to find that way of walking together. So what we've started to do is take a few deep breaths and then in our heads sing. You can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. And in that way, you sink into your hips and you begin to flow. So I really recommend, and I hope you back me up as well, Debbie, is that if you can find a soundtrack in your head, if you can find a song in your head that helps you find that intentional flow, be in your hips. Part of liver stagnation is when our hips turn inwards. We have a big inguinal crease, where the femoral artery comes into the groin. This is also where the liver meridian, which controls blood flow, comes into the body. So if we can start to open the hips, allow the blood and the energy to flow by using this song, but you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. And we just kind of start singing it and we can't move in it. And so it just helps to stop the shuffle. And it kind of brings a little bit more creativity. So what I hear both of you also saying is find the fun, find the creativity, tap into your flow. Don't be afraid that kind of frustration and tension. Find the flow. Good liver food would also be oily fish, deep greens, anything with a sour flavor, and alcohol would stagnate the liver, and too much cheese. So that's just from a Chinese medicine point of view.
Well, I was walking home today. I went shopping Super Value, and I live at the top of a relatively modest hill, but sometimes it feels like it's like Everest. And so I stopped, and I couldn't walk up the hill, so I put on the Prodigy, one of my favorite kind of like dance bands from the 90s. And I just said, put it on. It was going about 150 beats a minute, something like that. So it was pretty quick. And I flew home, literally flew home, charged home. So it's all about the intention, the beats, getting that correct beat for yourself. As Joe said, she often sings to me when I'm walking.
And I wanted to just
Yes.
pick up on another point that Tracy and you made, which was about community and nature. And I think actually it's good to bring the two of those together and understand, because sometimes it's kind of like, well, I've got Parkinson's and I'm all by myself, haven't got a partner, haven't got this. But you can always find community. And I feel that nature is a community resource. If you go into nature and you sit there, you'll often find the birds come and the crows come and talk to you. You can, yesterday I was walking and I saw the rabbits and I just looked at the rabbits in the field and just kind of connected with rabbits and felt that softness of rabbit ears, that you can use nature as part of your support community. And I also wanted to offer it out now to everybody else who's here. Have you got any specific questions for Irene or David or myself that you would like? Or perhaps you have Parkinson's or you're a carer and you want to share your experience. You want to be heard. Dun, dun,
I was going
Not
to say,
all at
I
once.
can only jump at once, yeah.
dun.
Because like
Roy.
I mean, I've had Parkinson's now 10 years, even though it hasn't got me and it's not called Parkinson's. What's it called? I have symptoms of Parkinson's.
Parkinson's it's just called after Dr. James Parkinson's. It used to be called shaky palsy, and then he rewrote the paper on it. So it's just the name of person. Sorry, Dave.
Sorry. Maybe one of Billy Connolly's jokes when he said, I got Parkinson's, he can have it back. Just
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
sorry, Roy, were you going to say something?
I was going to ask you, is the DBS still active or not?
Yes, absolutely. I've had it. I've 2 years now. It was implanted, and every week I have to. I wear like a collar to Bluetooth charge up my device. Now it hasn't, as they told me, it doesn't cure Parkinson's. It doesn't take away all of the symptoms, but it takes away an awful lot of them. An awful lot of them. Like I had a very bad tremor before. I have no tremor now at all.
It was amazing after the surgery, even before they turned the device on, I could see the difference. I could see the difference the next day.
Yeah, it's sort of made me softer, Roy, and less fearful. And you can't feel it. You can, I can feel the bump in my head where I call it the junction box. I reckon that's where the one became two, two wires became one. And I can also see this wire in my neck, and I can feel the thing in my under my skin in my chest. But it's it's a small loss. And the other thing was that if I turn it up any more than I have it up now, I can walk better, but I can't talk as well. And already that I'm kind of struggling a little bit with my talking, right? So DBS, I would highly recommend it to anybody. If you're susceptible to Cinemet, if Cinemet works for you to control your tremors or whatever it is your symptoms, then I think DBS would work for that person.
I
That's
can
what
see we have a question in the chat. Sorry to cut across you. Do you ever have days, Davy, where you don't feel like moving and tackling the difficulties, and what pulls you out of that?
stubbornness, I think. Because I could lie in bed every day. But do I have days? Well, there's lots of times. There was about 5 years ago, yes, there was lots of days when I put my head under the pillow and wouldn't come out. But these days, I feel I get so much support, even just in my local community, from friends and neighbours. That isn't a problem for me. Was there? Did I finish that question?
I'll read it again. Do you ever have days, Davy, where you don't feel like moving? And
Oh
what
yes, it
pulls you
was.
out of that?
Well, movement, exercise in the morning, Chi Flow with Joe, meditations. Um,
And it's interesting, sorry, Dave, it's interesting there that you said, it used to be 5 years ago. So if you think about it, they define Parkinson's as a progressive degenerative
I know.
disorder, which means what they're saying is you're going to get worse. You're after getting better as you go along. And I have no doubt that your improvement is due to your daily practice of Chi Flow with Joe, because that is neuroplasticity in the making. The more you're doing it, you're joining your neurons together, your body is expecting it, your body is doing it. Whereas, 5 years ago, if you were staying in bed one day, it's easier to stay in bed the next, so this is where you're doing your daily activities is so important. Yeah,
It's a
you don't
non-negotiable.
recognize
The
it.
morning exercise is non-negotiable.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't really feel like doing it today. No, I don't. I can't do that. So it's non-negotiable. Now I quite like Joe's aspect that it's 5 days a week, so we still get to lie in bed on Saturdays and Sundays and bank holidays. I do like that. But
I'm a tougher taskmaster than that way, Joe.
well, weekdays we get up and it's brilliant because even just the gentle exercise we're doing, they just improve your balance so much. So much. I mean, I can beat my doctor in a balance challenge now,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I do think as well it is about the perspective on, like you say, you're kind of getting better, but it is about better or worse. It's about your perspective on expectations. And so and it's funny because I said in Chinese medicine the liver is responsible for blood flow, and if not treated gets this kind of internal heat. But it's also the liver is related to the eyes. Each of the organs has a sensory organ. So actually what can happen on those days, where you don't feel like getting up and the world kind of closes in and your perspective can become very small. And it does mean that it is good to find those communities where you can actually just expand your vision. And like literally if you do something, so when you're doing the qigong, and I expect it's like this with the smoothie as well, you can actually, when you're looking forwards, also take your attention just to your peripheral vision. And when you were saying also you can't see the wood for the trees, when you have a problem, sometimes it's like here and it's so much in your face. Parkinson's is there when you wake up, when you eat, when you go to sleep. It's there all the time. And it's really difficult to get perspective and kind of go, well, I could try this or I could try that. So really good to find groups that support you and give you perspective and to try exercises that also increase your peripheral vision, because that's also what meditation is doing. It's giving you an expanded perspective by actually stopping thinking these thoughts and beliefs that go on and around and around. If we can just drop those and get a bit of perspective and see that there are other directions, but sometimes it's so far in your face that you can't see the wood for the trees, like you were saying, Irene. And liver is wood energy, rising yang energy. So how all that fits in, I love that new perspective. There's a couple more things in the chat, and then I think we've been going an hour.
Just
Yes,
before we
Irene.
do that, can I just say as well, like when you're about that with the perspective, and a lot of people, especially, you know, because I hear some horrific stories about the diagnosis, you know, they've just been diagnosed, you have Gary Boyle, you know, has shared it so many times, he got Parkinson, he's 40, you've got Parkinson's, oh, get on with it, it won't kill you. That, like, they were the exact words, it won't kill you. And he was traumatized about it for years, you know. So you go into this, we almost take on other people's opinions and stuff. So it's really important to know, to set your own goals and to know what you want, not what you don't want, to know what you want and keep looking forward in that. And you will discover that you have limiting beliefs, you know. So to do the exercises, to go into the work and do, right, what are my limiting beliefs? Why, if I want to do this, what's going to prevent me from doing it? You know, to really look at it, is this true? Is it like, why do I think I can't do that? You know, if I've had clients who stopped driving just because they found out the Parkinson's, they lost their confidence. You know, so when you have it like that, you say it's so close to you. Take it away out and speak with other people and find your tribe, your community who are going to support you.
Brilliant. Yes. Now, the next, absolutely 100%, find your positive tribe. Next question, very interesting for Davey, especially. Kay is asking, do you find sound healing soothing? Chimes, Tibetan bowls, solfeggio frequencies. Davey?
Can I do like a big capital yes? Big capital yes, yes, yes. And in fact, like last night, I've started to do, I have these tuning forks, and I do that now. This is nothing I do before bed. It kind of calms down my brain. But my good friend, Troy Harrington, he is incredible. I think Joe would say that too. His sound baths, nothing I've ever experienced before. They are just, they lift you away into a whole new dimension.
What's his name, Davey?
Troy Harrington.
And where is he based?
Well, he doesn't give
He's not based
give
anywhere.
sound baths. He is a shaman, but he just gives them, like Davey is his friend, so he just turns up. And it's the only sound bath that I've ever been at that I could literally see the waves of color passing and I could feel them over my brain. He is amazing. Now I'm trying to persuade him to give more public stuff, but he doesn't. He's got amazing sound stuff. So him and Davey do a lot of breathing practices and shamanic practices together. And yeah, and I love him. Love him.
I love him too, yeah. He's coming over tomorrow.
So yes, in answer to your
Yes,
answer to your
find some.
question, big
And also, like,
yes.
you can buy yourself some tuning forks, you can buy yourself a bowl, you can buy yourself a bell, and you can do it for yourself as well.
And just to go through the questions here, Jen, that's great to hear. I'm on a healing journey with back and hip issues, and I'm feeling incredible differences since I started Chi Flow in March. Cool.
Fantastic.
There were a lot of bad days, and now I'm back to gardening. Brilliant. And next month is all about hip openers. We're doing hip openers next month. Brilliant. Anne's iPhone. Oh, that's interesting. This is regarding the sound. Have you tried HemiSync?
No.
No. Anne, would you like to unmute and tell us about HemiSync?
HemiSync, it's I have it as CDs and you best listen to with headphones, and because the different sounds come in at different frequencies and they balance the brain.
Nice.
There's meditation ones with the hemisync behind it, and there's also trance dance ones. There's the
Love all
whole
that.
thing. If you Google hemisync, you'll come up with a whole load.
Lovely, lovely. So
I was
we're
doing
all
a
on board
meditation
with the
last night,
sound.
a white tiger meditation last night, which had sound and meditation and voice. And it's something that I want to increase in my life, a bit more meditation and a bit more breathing practice, as Irene was saying, it's so key to our good health.
And how about more presentations, Davey?
Definitely, but what I really want to do is I want to learn how to actually present, which means I have to learn a bit more about my computer.
Well, you did a great job, Davey. You got through it without your prompts and everything else. If you can do that, you can do anything.
Exactly.
Very good. Thank you all.
Can I just ask you a question, Davey? You said you did plant-based medicine. What ones did you do?
Ayahuasca, Bufo, Cambo.
Would you like to say a little bit more about what
them?
these are?
Well, they're psychotropic drugs which come from the jungle. Often they're from the skin of a toad. Not the eye of a newt, but something like that. Skin of a toad and the bark of a tree. And they teach you about yourself. You go into it's like therapy on speed. It's just very, very opening. I mean, when I went on a long weekend, and during that long weekend, I said, "Oh, I must be cured by Parkinson's now." So I gave up the medication completely, came back, and Joe was going to say to me, "So what's the plan now then, Davey? What's the plan now? What are you doing now?" Because I actually couldn't move. I could not move. So for the time that I was on the retreat, it all worked. But you can't be off your head the whole time, unfortunately.
It'd be good if we were.
Was that
Nice.
Well,
The world we're living in, I think it might be a good idea.
yeah, it could be.
And you have also tried microdosing. That was also part of it, which is a medicinal mushroom microdosing as well.
That's supposed to
which
be really good for
apparently
anxiety,
apparently
actually.
it's not good for your brain anyway. So like all these things I do and have done, they're with the idea of experience.
Have you tried lion's mane?
Yep.
Does that work?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
what's working though? What's working? I think
I
Davey's saying that
I took it for 3 months, Roy, and it didn't do me any harm. I also drank silver water for 6 months as well.
colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver.
silver.
I do say, I mean, my plant medicine now is I do smoke a little bit of ganja every day in the evening times, and it absolutely relaxes so well. In fact, it's probably one of the best medications I have come across.
Well, that makes my night.
Is it?
Yeah, to be skidded up there.
No, that would involve tobacco. I wouldn't do that to my body.
Oh no, neither would I. But no, I was only saying that to Irene the other day that to hell with alcohol, but to have something that will expand your consciousness and relax you, and whether it's nature or sound, that your senses are heightened and your brain feels wonderful, it can't be bad for you,
No, exactly. Hang the alcohol, but I wouldn't.
And how do you take it then? With a cake or pipe? Just.
It's also important to say that it's the intention as well. The intention that goes with it.
Yeah, but my shaman, Troy, he would say that you imbibe your spirit into the plant medicine. So you breathe intentionally 3 times into the spirit of it. And at the same time, you ask it for whatever you want, but also at the moment, most of it, you're just very, very grateful. So I'm just there saying, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it lifts me so incredibly. Again, I can't be stoned all the time, unfortunately, because I do a full-time job and I have to drive my car occasionally.
What do you do for a job, David?
I work as a fisheries advisor for the Irish Sea Fisheries Board.
Wow.
Actually, I've got to give my first big presentation next Tuesday, so this is good practice.
And I'm
Brilliant.
sorry I talked over you when you were showing your packs. If you
Oh.
wanted to kind of explain or show your packs, because it is a really amazing piece of kit as well.
Well, I just want to lead with it's illegal in this country, unfortunately. But I think they'd all turn a blind eye at me.
Oh, I have one. Yeah, it's packs. They're great.
Max, you're my friend. Who's this? This is
Marianne.
Marianne. How are you doing, Marianne?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I sound like you. I mean, I'm into the mushrooms, everything, but natural. Like I would say, everything that's natural and good. Like I would never use tobacco, for example, ever.
No.
But I mean, I haven't touched any of that since I got Parkinson's. But you're after cheering me up a lot tonight.
Good.
Can I have a question for Joe?
Yeah, sure.
This is my first. Irene had told me about you, Joe, but can I join Flow with Joe classes? Do you do those in the mornings online, or what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. They are every morning. We take a theme of the month. So even if you join now, you're kind of like held in a queue without charge until we begin on the 1st
New.
of the next month.
Okay.
Okay. So I will send out the link in the recording to this talk to join Chi Flow with Joe.
Thank
And
you.
then all of these mid-monthly health talks are free. We have an end of month loving kindness meditation, and at 8:20 is a meditation every morning. 8:30 is the Qigong. 9 o'clock, we then have a chat a bit like this. Some mornings the chat is 15 minutes. Some mornings the chat is 2 minutes. Roy
Yeah.
is a member. Emily, I can see here, because this is part of the mid-monthly health talk. So, yeah, it's...
And we chant as well, which I'm finding more and more important. We chant every morning as we meditate.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, God.
a bit of mantra. A bit of mantra to just kind of vibrate all the vagus nerve down the sides here. Nothing better than a bit of humming and a bit of singing and chanting.
Yeah. But even through yoga, the bumblebee breathing, breathing in deeply and then humming like a bumblebee. If you, Davey was saying earlier, if you feel panicked, I know you don't want to be humming on the Lewis, but it's amazing. 5 of those will just calm you down beautifully. And I think it's the vagus nerve again, is just soothed it so much. But and Joe, do you mind Aegis turning up that don't know much about Tai Chi, like nothing?
Nobody
Everybody's
knows.
Welcome.
Everybody's welcome.
Okay.
And it's to have a beginner's mind, a beginner's mind at the beginning of every month. If you think you know what you're doing, you're bound to be doing it wrong. So
And also to be curious, because also at the same time, you're not on camera. Joe is on camera. No, during the class, Joe is on camera.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You can be lying on the ground and not doing the correct move. And nobody.
I know that just so that we're able to keep up. I don't mind who thinks I'm an idiot. I'm well beyond that. But Joe, I'm following. Have you come across this Howard chap? What's his name? Irene Howard.
Howard Schiff. Okay.
Yeah, he's a man that rid himself of all his symptoms. But anyway, for what it's worth, his recipe is free. But so he is
uses medical qigong.
Yeah. So, but it's I must say I'm doing it, Roy, every day. It's very simple, but that's why I'd love to follow Joe. It's just it makes me feel lovely, and it's liver and kidney work. That's all it is, and it's fairly simple. I mean, I've learned it by heart, and I'm loving it.
Brilliant. That's to find the thing that works for you.
Well, I was looking for you, and Irene has directed me towards you. So hello, and your husband is great crack as well.
Thank you.
Is. So the mid-monthly health talk, we try and keep to an hour. So
An hour.
I think it's been really, thank you so much, Davey. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Davy. Thank
Because
you,
I know
Davy.
you came out of your comfort zone into a learning zone. You go
Woohoo!
back into your comfort zone now.
I know. I think this might come in interest this
Yeah.
evening.
No, but I'll just say one thing. Isn't it great to have what you've done this evening? Because you're touching all of us and you're helping us. And I know it was hard for you, but it's fantastic. Certainly, I speak for myself, and I hope everybody else feels the same. But I'm certainly got a huge amount out of the chat. Thank
That's
you very
good because I was kind of nervous, especially when I couldn't get my PowerPoint to work. So I had no notes or
PowerPoint.
anything, and I
Yeah,
was like, oh my goodness,
yeah,
I have to now just talk out the top of my head. But it's good because I mean, I want to do more of this. I want to support more people. I
yeah,
help more people.
yeah. Well, you're gifted.
Thank you.
Brilliant. You're also in charge of the meeting, Davy. So to stop the meeting, you have to press the little button at the side that
There's
says
N.
end meeting.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
You'll all
Bye,
receive
Thanks,
the
everybody.
everybody.
recording. Thanks a
Thanks,
lot. Sending
everyone.
you cheers.
Bye.
Take it
Bye-bye.
easy.
Take care.